When I was 18, I worked at a local coffee shop in my hometown, and I often worked there and picking up shifts and closing 6 nights a week. I had lots of regulars and lots of random people, but other than maybe a few awkward orders, I never really had a problem with the customers being inappropriate or out of hand. This night was already really stressful for me, as it was Halloween, not that it has anything to do with the interaction, and I was a little bummed to be closing while my friends were out and about. But I had friends to go to a house that my friends rented down the street after work with some pastries and Red Bull, so I really didn't mind too much. It was about 9:45 and I was already ready to close right at 10. It had been then since about 8, and all I had to do was a final register count. Everything was clean, and I was reading a book to pass the time, trying not to watch the clock. Our counter, by the way, is like a bar counter, long, with the register near the door at the closed end, and with the one far end open for us to go in and out. Right near the door to our back room, a man walked in the front door. He looked about mid-20s. He was black, had on a big hoodie, and was wearing sweatpants that sagged down so he could see waistband of two different pairs of gym shorts underneath. I'm a young female, but I have no fear of people. I'm not racist, so I didn't beat an eyelash when he walked in with one hand in a hoodie pocket and the other in the pocket of the pairs of gym shorts. Men of all races wear clothes like that and carry themselves that way, at least where I live. So with no concern, I greeted him and asked him how he was and what he was thinking of ordering. He took his time responding but wasn't looking at the menu or at our chalkboard with seasonal drink offers. He was looking at the front door. He took about a minute, then turned to me and asked my name. I often had male customers ask this, females too, so I told him and then asked again what he was looking to order. He began to ask me more questions about my job. He asked if I like it, and I respond, thinking maybe he wanted the job application. I gave him a very short version of how I felt. I kept checking my phone, thinking that I just wanted to make his drink so I could clean up again and meet my friends. He nodded, saying he thought I liked my job, which I thought was strange, but again, didn't think about, and I agree again. He started to ask about the shifts I worked. I figured he had sympathy that was Halloween, and I gave him a vague answer. He then asked why I didn't work on Thursdays. My heart jumped. I didn't see that one coming from a mile away. I struggled to respond, and he continued and asked if Sunday mornings were better than Wednesday nights. He stopped smiling at this point, and his hand in the hoodie pocket made an abrupt move to the very inside pair of gym shorts, basically so that he would grab himself. He didn't quite reach in all the way, and I felt like I was going to pass out. I asked him to order or leave, as the end of our business day was almost over, that I needed to clean and locked up. At this point, I grabbed my cell phone and kept it in my hand, thinking, how can I dial 911 and not have him begin to molest himself in front of me or whatever he planned on doing? He began to sort of lean on the counter and ask me questions. He asked me where I live, did I have a boyfriend, what were my plans for the night. I was trying hard not to cry. I tried my best to lie through more vague answers, hoping he would go away and just didn't freak out. But that end had no opening. and was so high and climbing over an espresso machine. The only other exit I could think of was our narrow drive-through window. Clutching my phone, I asked him what he wanted. For some reason, he stopped. He stood up and looked towards the front door, then turned to look at the clock behind him. I took the chance to start writing a text message to my friend, and I said, if I'm not on your place in 10 minutes, call the police. He caught me sending the text and asked me who I was texting. I told him my boyfriend, and his face became something I will never forget. His eyes blazed and he was still as stone. He calmly told me to throw my cell phone across the floor, specifically telling me to throw it to the drive-thru, and had to really toss it about 9 feet away. After he began to scream, making his way again down the counter, he asked me how I could have a boyfriend when he was watching me at work from the last 2 months as often as possible, and had never seen a man drop me off or pick me up at work. He pointed to the side of the building that I had parked on and said he knew I parked my blue Toyota there earlier, and not to lie to him, I asked him to leave, beginning to cry. He began to describe my work shift to a T. He told me that he knew that I only drank the Diet Coke that we sold, and that I always cranked my music up when I started my car. At that point, he pulled a small gun out of his jeans shorts. He waved it around and he said it was stupid to lie to him, that he knew it all, as if couldn't believe that I didn't want to talk with him, or that it was funny that I was scared. I offered him all the money in the register and he laughed again, like hysterically, and then again went still. He said, I'll never forget this moment. I'm not here for any money, Marina. I'm not here for a job. I think you know what I mean. I'm sorry now, and I made him either frustrated or sympathetic and began to say how he just needed to calm down. He still had one hand down near his dick and began to fondle himself, holding the gun with the other hand and about 3 feet away from the opening in the bar. He was continuing to talk when all of a sudden my friend walked in the door with his friends. There were 5 guys altogether, so they are a pretty distinct group of guys. The man quickly put the gun in his hoodie pocket, so quickly that only 2 of my friends noticed it. He ran for the door, pushing past my friends and disappearing into the night. I threw up as soon as he was gone, and 2 of my friends ran out after him, but they didn't catch him or they didn't see where he went to. I quit my job the next day and I called the police. There was never any follow-up, and I still wonder about what the fuck did or didn't happen to me that night. It was the middle of the summer, and my parents had left for the weekend to go to our house in Cape Cod. It's about a 2-hour drive away, so it's no big deal for them to leave me alone for a few days. My mom had made some pulled pork and pasta for me to heat up later. I had money if I wanted to order pizza. Things are really good. The first night, I was alone. I stayed until 3 a.m. in the morning playing Xbox, so I woke really late the next day. I checked my phone when I woke up and I saw it was a little past 1. I had made plans to play some street hockey with my friends at 3, so I threw myself out of bed and stumbled into the shower. I take really long showers, so when my parents are gone I go mental. I was in there for about 45 minutes on my phone, scrolling through Reddit and Twitter and whatnot, when I heard my front door open. The bathroom is directly up the stairs from the back door. and the thing is pretty loud when it opens and closes. I immediately froze, since obviously I was supposed to be alone. I waited for about 2 minutes, ears strained and trying to hear anything else. Nothing. I figured it was just the wind, or maybe my parents were home early. So I turned off the shower, wrapped my towel around myself, and slowly walked down the stairs to check it out. So the stairs to the kitchen, where the back door is, are pretty tight and walled in. So it's essentially like walking down a tighter version of this, but replacing the rail with a wall. So I can't see into the kitchen when I walk down. Even though my house is all as shit, and each step on the stairs make a super loud creak, I still took my time and tried to be as quiet as possible. I probably took 45 seconds walking down all 12 of the stairs. So when I get to the second to last stair, right before I could see around the corner into the kitchen, I take a little breath to compose myself. In my mind, I knew I was being stupid. Obviously, there wasn't anything in the kitchen. There's no way. I wouldn't have heard another noise, and there's no reason for them to still be in the kitchen, even if there were burglars or something. After sort of mentally chastising myself for being such a wuss, I sort of chuckled to myself for being so stupid and just normally walked the last 2 stairs and turned the corner into the kitchen. Standing about 2 feet away from me in the middle of the kitchen is a man staring at me, perfectly still, with a massive smile across his face, just staring at me. The thing I remember most vividly wasn't his face or his smile, but his arms. They were just at his side and held them in the strangest, most abnormal position I ever seen. I don't know why I remember this so much, but it's just the most demonic, abnormal position I'd ever seen. Honest to God, I think I almost had a heart attack right there. Looking back, I can realize how fucking creepy this situation was. But in the moment, I just took a step towards him and punched him as hard as I could in the jaw, sort of half slapping and pushing him towards the ground. The second I connected, I leaned up the stairs, dropped my towel in the kitchen with my heart beating out of control. I fucking sprinted into my room and locked the door behind me. Quickly put the chair up against the doorknob like you see in TV. Almost without thinking, I immediately called 911, and nearly in tears I told the operator what happened. In practically the fetal position, staring at the door, praying that a cop will be there soon, I noticed the light coming from the gap between my door had stopped. The fucker was standing outside of my door. There's no words to describe the feeling I had. I was paralyzed with fear, watching the shadow across the bottom of the door shift in tiny ways. I stayed bolt up, staring at the gap, praying the man would go away for what seemed like an hour. All the while, the 911 operator was asking, "Hello, sir? Hello, are you there?" I didn't want to make any noise, and even if I want to move my arms to bring the phone to my mouth, I don't think I could have. Eventually, the light returned to the gap, and I heard the faintest footsteps slowly creaking the wooden floorboards as he walked down the hall. It was silent for minutes. I just sat there curled up, unable to even speak. I heard banging on the front door and the sound of 2 officers entering my house. I finally felt safe, and I opened the door to the 2 of them standing there. I almost cried. Nowadays, my parents don't even leave me home alone anymore. Thank God, I check every lock on the house before going to bed. I still get nightmares occasionally. My heart starts racing whenever I see someone standing still. But I'm doing alright. Even working with sketch artists and a few lineups. The police never found whoever the fuck was in my house. That sends shivers down my spine every time I look outside, half expecting to see him standing across the street, smiling under a lamppost. I have no idea what he wanted or who he was, but regardless, let's not meet ever again.